wild animals around the world. Hi, everybody!
Welcome to
Wild Animal Wednesday.
I'm Mrs. Laura.
And I'm Alexis, and this is Luella, the water dragon.
And why do we have our special guest today?
Because we're learning about the Komodo Dragon.
That's right, so some of her family members decided to show up too. Now the Komodo Dragon is the largest lizard, and it lives in Indonesia, but only on about 4 different islands, one of which is named Komodo, which is where the dragon got its name.
Today we're heading to Asia, to the islands of Indonesia, to Komodo National Park, to see the Komodo dragons.
Komodo dragon is the world's biggest lizard. You can tell we like those big animals, as we've featured quite a few. It can grow up to 10 feet long and weigh up to 350 pounds. Komodo dragons live on about 4 different islands in Indonesia, one of which is named Komodo, which is where they got their name. They are strong swimmers, and they can actually swim from island to island. They have a huge forked tongue, which can sense smells up to 7 miles away. Komodo dragons are not picky eaters. They'll even eat dead carcasses. One of their favorite large mammals is the water buffalo. They will even eat and kill other Komodo dragons. The Komodo dragon does not have good manners. It doesn't chew its food before it swallows. Instead, it swallows it whole. Although Komodos like to live alone, they will gather for a big meal. And they're not wasteful. They'll eat the horns, hoofs, and even the bones. After a big meal, that Komodo dragon is tired. Kind of like after you eat a big Thanksgiving meal and all you want to do is sleep. Well, the Komodo dragon will rest for several days after eating a big meal. And it only needs a big meal just about once a month. The rest of the time, it just snacks on small animals. Komodo dragon is a diurnal creature, meaning that they're awake during the day and they sleep at night. Now they use those sharp claws to dig out burrows so they can have a nice cozy place to sleep at night. Not only will the Komodo dragon dig a burrow to sleep in, it also makes little burrows for its nest. The female Komodo dragon will lay about between 18 and 30 eggs. But before she does, they dig all sorts of little fake nests to trick the predators. One of the main predators is actually other Komodo dragons. So she may lay her eggs up here, and the other Komodo dragons will sniff around in these nests and find nothing and just kind of give up. So then her little eggs are safe. So she will stay and guard her eggs, but she is not there when the baby hatches. When the baby hatches, it's slim and striped, a little version of its parents. But isn't it adorable? Because they have to be careful of predators and other Komodo dragons when they first hatch, they scamper quickly up into the trees, and they'll live there for up to 4 years until they're so big that they can no longer jump from branch to branch. Up in the trees, they find insects to eat. Those little hatchlings also have sharp claws like their parents. They use those sharp claws to climb up and stay safe in the trees. Not only will they eat insects, they'll eat snakes and birds too when they're young. The Komodo dragon has a long, forked tongue that helps it sense in both directions. The tongue will sense the smells and then send that information up to its Jacobson's organ, which is much like a brain that will tell the Komodo dragon which direction to go to get its prey. It can actually smell a dead animal up to 7 miles away. Here is a beautiful picture of the island of Komodo. Would you like to go hang out on that beach? Here's a little Komodo dragon cooling off in the water. On Komodo Island, there is Komodo National Park, which is a great place that conserves and protects these Komodo dragons. Komodo dragons have a huge tail, which can be just about as long as its body. Like other reptiles, Komodo dragons love to soak up the sun. To cool off, they'll dig in the sand to create like a little burrow to cool off. They'll go find the shade, or they'll hop in the water like this Komodo dragon. Komodo Komodo dragon's jaws are quite interesting in that they don't have these big sharp teeth, but they have something quite deadly, and that's the bacteria and the poison that secretes into their victim after they bite. Many times they only have to bite a deer or water buffalo one time, and they'll wait until their prey slows down, and then they will come and finish it off.
The Komodo dragon uses its tail like a tripod. In that tripod position, they can reach high in trees for food. They can also fight other Komodo dragons. All reptiles have dry, scaly scales. All reptiles are cold-blooded. All reptiles breathe with lungs. Hi everybody, let's draw!
Here's the Komodo dragon we're going to use as our guide. I like this one because I think it'll be easy to fit on the page because its tail kind of flips forward. And I'm going to draw the tail just a little bit longer because their tails can be up to the same size as their bodies. So I'm going to use this one as our guide. I also like this one a little bit because I like how it shows that thick forked tongue. So let's draw our Komodo dragon. All right, I have my paper turned horizontal, but you could have it vertical or horizontal. So I'm going to start with its kind of smaller flat-shaped head, just a little bit rounded up here, and pretty much a straight back going all the way down. Then I'm going to curl that strong, thick tail up, back up to its body. Let's do the back legs first. So it does have very strong, thick, muscular legs. And then it has 5 toes with 1 back and 4 forward and very sharp claws. So I drew the toes a little bit pointed, but now I'm going to actually make claws on top of it. Their claws can actually be up to 5 inches, super sharp. They're great for digging out their burrows. They use them to climb the trees when they're young. Let's do this front leg now. Again, another thick, strong leg. And the front kind of has more, all 5 kind of facing more the front here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then again, those sharp claws. Also can be used if they ever need to defend their territory or attack against another Komodo dragon. They'll use those claws as well. So their body's covered in scales, so that protects them as they're fighting against each other. Their mouth actually can open up quite wide to be able to swallow their prey whole. So they have a large forked tongue that allows them to sense their prey up to 7 miles away. Now that tongue will gather up the smells, take it up to the Jacobson's organ inside their body, and it will tell them what direction their prey is. Now they have a rather, I would call a large eye to me compared to the other reptiles. Of course, not the chameleon, they have an even larger eye. But I feel like their eyes are pretty large, and they do have nostrils. They breathe with lungs. They also have a large hole on the sides of their heads. That's actually their ear. Although they really can't see and hear very well, they use that tongue and the Jacobson's organ really to see and smell. We're going to actually make our scales as we color. So I have just a variety here of grays and blacks. And sometimes they have just a little bit of blue or red in their scales, but they're not overly colorful. But one distinct feature is that their scales are like little circles. So you could draw individual circles like this, or you could also kind of just do a little scribbly pattern on, although it won't be the perfect little scales, but it does give a good representation of the circular scales that the Komodo dragon has. Komodo dragons. As you can see, my Komodo dragon has its forked tongue out, looking to sense where the prey might be. Alexis, tell us about yours.
I had mine just eat a water buffalo.
So you can see there were quite a few bloody images in the books we read. So you can see that this Komodo dragon has had a big full meal. So we have the before and after.
Look at all the books we used.
We sure did gather a lot of facts about the Komodo dragon using all these books. But the ones we specifically featured in our video.
Big Beasts! Komodo Dragons by Stephanie Turnbull.
Also Komodo Dragons by Maddie Spalding. We actually used this series in some of our other reptile and amphibian videos. It's a great series.
And we also use Supersize Komodo Dragons, the world's biggest lizard by Natalie Lunis.
And that's another one. We actually used several of the books from that series as well. Nature's Deadliest, the Komodo Dragon. Another great series that we've featured, and actually the saltwater crocodile. This one's great for just sharing kind of like spooky stories a little bit about these deadly creatures. This one's by Linda Owings. Now, this is actually in a separate video that we did called Bizarre Beast Battles. You can find that in our playlist of reptiles and amphibians around the world.
Thanks for learning with us, everyone.
Bye!
One, two, three, four.
I'm Komodo Dragon.
Thanks for learning us.
That they can't. Shared a few of them during our. Whoops. You did good. I messed up. But here's a little Komodo dragon cooling off in the water. No, that's true.
Thanks. Oh, reptiles, breathe with the